Good afternoon, and thanks for joining us at MakerspaceCT here today on Giving Tuesday. We're very grateful for your attendance at today's little interaction. We want to show you a little bit about MakerspaceCT. We're providing opportunities for Hartford-based youth to learn the basics of digitally designing a product called CAD. And we have a program right now for students in the greater Hartford area, which is called CAD Readiness. We've got some really strong community partnerships, both with ReadyCT and Launc Hartford, that enabled us to offer these classes free of charge to greater Hartford youth. And we need your support to continue to expand the program. These CAD workshops are providing great educational opportunities for Hartford-area youth, for learning, and for getting a foundation. To design anything in manufacturing, it's important to start with CAD, and that's the communication from the design, the idea, the vision in your mind to the design, to putting it into a file so that you can begin to print and improve that file. This year for Giving Tuesday, we are asking for your support with our Youth CAD Readiness scholarships. The cost for each student is about $500 to participate in our 5-week workshop. On Giving Tuesday, we're trying to raise $5,000 to support 10 students with scholarships. Students in this program move on and go to internships at a lot of the large manufacturers, and they basically leapfrog in learning and usefulness at these internships by having a basis in CAD when they begin the internship. Your gift of any amount is helpful. You can choose to sponsor a full student for $500. Any piece of generosity and support helps for our scholarships. Our campaign runs through December 4th, and with your help, we'll reach our goal of $5,000. We are going to interview several people in the next few moments. We're going to start with Betsy Caraballo, who's the internship coordinator of ReadyCT, Lauren Brandenburg, who's our additive manufacturing expert, Ben Parker, our Youth CAD Readiness instructor, and students Lanesha, Augusto, and Brihalia to talk about their experiences and how this helped them in their future goals and on their workforce career path. So we're trying to explore this issue from all sides to understand the benefits of CAD, to understand why students need to learn it, what it improves their career with, and how you can help them to get on the path. So right now we're going to run down to the shop with Mark Colbert, our operations officer, and Betsy Caraballo to learn a little bit more about our CAD Readiness program. Thanks for your generous support, and we appreciate your sponsorship for these students.
Hey everyone, Mark here from MakerspaceCT. I just wanted to let you know that I have Betsy Caraballo with me. Betsy is from ReadyCT here in the Hartford area, and she is the internship coordinator, placing interns in different businesses in this area. And we're working with ReadyCT now, both on internship placement and a new program that we have here called CAD Readiness. CAD Readiness basically gives high school kids from freshman up to senior an opportunity to come in here to MakerspaceCT and learn some engineering basics that they can take with them further in the real world of computer-aided design and innovation. We teach them some baseline product design and engineering terminology, and it's all hands-on in our computer lab here at Makerspace, and they get a great opportunity on Saturdays. It runs for 5 weeks, and we just finished our first cohort of 15 students here, and we're now deep into our next cohort, and we want to take this program a lot further, not just with CAD basics, CAD readiness, but what is CAD Plus. And that is a program where these students will be applying their skills in the future, these newly acquired skills, and basically designing products for us, doing building layouts, all real cool opportunities for them to take what they just learned and apply it in the real world. So here's Betsy. She comes from ReadyCT. Betsy, welcome. Thanks for being here today.
Thank you, Mark, for having me.
I would love to have our viewers learn a little bit more about what ReadyCT is and what you do for the community. Could you share a little bit of that with us?
Sure. So I work for ReadyCT. It is a nonprofit here in the state of Connecticut. We serve the whole state. And we're also an affiliate of CBIA. And we're focused on career education in the high school level, as well as lower levels with computer science. And what I do specifically is I work, I'm an internship coordinator at Hartford High School. And this year I'm working with 100 students from Hartford High, providing them work-based learning readiness, and making sure that they have those soft skills that employers are looking for and need in employees, and getting them ready for their summer internships. And we work with a variety of employers within the greater Hartford area, including Makerspace.
Thanks, Betsy. We at Makerspace heard about a year ago that you guys were placing interns, and we heard that some of the companies were looking for baseline engineering skills before they took in an intern. And that's where this program came from. We realized that we wanted to provide an opportunity for kids as young as their freshman year to get placed into a summer internship. And so what we developed was this Saturday program where they could, get their feet wet in a little bit of baseline engineering skills. And we hope, and please correct me if I'm wrong, we hope that some of these engineering classes that we're providing here will help place them going forward for the summer. Is that correct?
Definitely. So Hartford High has a specific pathway. They have the green engineering and green tech pathway. So students in that pathway are learning about different engineering careers and technology careers. And what Makerspace has been able to offer students is, in addition of training and skills, in addition to what the school's already offering them. So at the school, they'll get principles of engineering. They will also get computer science. And there's some CAD involved in those courses, but here at Makerspace, they've had the opportunity to just really focus and hone on those specific CAD readiness that they need and that employers are looking for, especially in the engineering field. And we do work with many engineering companies here in Connecticut. And what Makerspace is giving them are skills, real life skills that they're able to gain and learn and be able to utilize, put on their resumes and utilize in the summer with the engineering companies. And that gives them a leg up. And they'll have a skill that no other high school student will have here in Hartford.
Have you been able to come visit and see the students in action in the computer lab?
Yes, I have. I've seen them and I've spoken to them. I visit them. So I met Ben, and I will tell you something. One of the questions we asked the students from the first cohort is, what does manufacturing mean to you, specifically with CAD? And students, their responses were, I'm able to create something on a computer and actually see it come alive. I'm able to create a design that may be used in a structure or in something in the future. So they're extremely interested in it. They love it. They love the fact that it's hands-on. Again, it's using their imagination and putting it together and seeing it, and just being able to say, oh, this could be used for something to save a life. And that to them is intriguing. And it's great when they really love and they love that they're learning something that's gonna be useful somewhere else.
You know, towards the end of the class, the first cohort, I think it was on the second to the last session or even the last session, they raised their hands, and Ben, our instructor, who you'll hear from in just a few minutes, was like, what do you guys need? And they said, you know, we really love it here so much. Can we get an internship here developing something here at Makerspace? This is outside of the CAD Readiness program. And I think it's a testament to some of the progress we're making. I think we're touching their lives. I think they realize that this is a really cool place to be. There's innovation going on here every day. They're very interested in taking the next step out of this program and applying it to, the real world. Mm-hmm. And that helped us develop this other program called CAD Plus. What is CAD Plus? Well, we're still figuring it out, but the plan is to use some of these talented students and apply their skills right away and come back into Makerspace on a paid internship and model our entire shop. Not only from an architectural standpoint, but it's an opportunity for us to have this entire modeled facility that we can use both for marketing and on our website, and to give people virtual tours through the space. Much like when you walk through a virtual tour for a piece of real estate, the hope is the models, the computer models that our students make, will be used to help us in the future move forward. And the hope is that the students will be able to look back and say, you know what? I helped develop that. Or they'll be able to go to a job and bring up our website and say, see all this modeling in this space? I helped develop that. So we're trying our part. We're listening to the students. They're interested in being here. We're interested in having them. But it takes money, right? And there's a cost associated with this. Currently, we're in our second cohort. We have 25 students currently that have both our past students and our current ones that are having this opportunity. The world of product development that I come from, Betsy, is the skills they're being taught is what we use every day. Mm-hmm. And this is probably a sophomore level, university level engineering class that we're teaching them. And they're getting this as young as freshman year in high school. Do you see, I mean, it's obvious when I pop in here on a Saturday and I see them all smiling, and they're very intense and they're working really hard for Ben. Do you see this as a good springboard to take them to the next level in a career path of engineering?
Yes, I do. When you have a 15-year-old, a 15 or 16-year-old, and you ask them, what are your career goals? They only know what they know, and they'll regurgitate what they've heard or what's common. They'll say, I want to be a lawyer, I want to be a nurse, I want to be an engineer. But when you dig in deeper, they really don't understand what's involved in those careers. They're just saying it to say it. But when you offer them a course in CAD, in computer-aided design, and you explain what it is to them, and then they come in and these students sign up for this program. They're giving, they come in on a Saturday for 5 to 6 hours on their own. They're excited to be here. And it says a lot that even during COVID, where many of them are doing virtual learning from home, on Saturdays they're here, and they come in. And when they start to see what computer-aided design is, what the world of manufacturing looks like, what the world of engineering looks like, it intrigues them, and they start to learn new things, and they start to say, oh, I never knew that this existed before. Are there any other programs like this? Are there any other Saturday programs? Can I do an internship after school? And it helps build their resume. By the time they're seniors and they're applying for college or for trade school, they have an understanding that most 18 or 17-year-olds do not have. They'll be ready, they're ready for the world of work. They've learned those soft skills that employers are looking for. They have the hands-on that they need. So is this an amazing program? Yes. Can we offer it to more students? Yes, please. It's great. It's great when students are hungry to learn and you're broadening their horizons. They're learning new things that, especially in the state of Connecticut, we're such a big manufacturing state, and so many employers are in need of employees that are willing to learn, that are teachable, that bring in the skills, that have the knowledge. And when you have someone who's 18 years old, graduating from high school with all of these skills already, it's invaluable.
I'd like to ask you about the manufacturers and the companies you're talking about, right? So can you name a few of the Hartford-area opportunities for these students that ReadyCT works with?
Oh, yes. So we work with Raytheon Technologies, Pratt & Whitney, GEI Consultants, AI Engineers, RSL Fibers. Those are a few of the engineering companies that we work with.
No, they're great. And I hope that these students realize the opportunities they're given. I've heard from a few of the parents. They've come and drop their students off, and they say to me, I sometimes ask the parents, like any other teenager, hey, they didn't say much while they were in class. How are they feeling about this class? Are they getting a lot out of it? And then the parents explode. The parents are like, oh my goodness, when so-and-so came home and they couldn't stop talking about it at the dinner table. They're having such a good time. And then I have the parents asking me, what's next? What else? Where else can we put them? Do you have other programs, And that's good. That's a feather in our cap. It feels like they're getting something out of it. And that's so important to us to hear that report from them. Because sometimes you don't always hear it from the kids, right? But we know we're doing our best to put them through this. And I'm hearing it from a few of the parents that it's reflecting at home on their interest level. So it's really cool to know that they're getting something out of it. They're talking about it on the outside. Betsy, our goal here is to continue this program every Saturday right up through June till these kids get out of school. Regardless of the COVID world we're in, here in our facility, our computer lab is all set up with shielding. Masks are required here. We have some amazing technology. We really want them in the space, and we've been succeeding with that. Even with our newly branded Safe Shop here, where both our instructors and students can all feel safe in a learning environment. But we are at 25 students right now. We have another 75 to go. Typically, we can fit 10 to 12 students every Saturday. But our goal here with Giving Tuesday is to raise funds, and it's costing us around $500 a student for the 5-week program. Now they're here from 11 till 3:30 every Saturday. It's a long time. It's a lot of information. But our goal here, Betsy, is to raise enough money to get these students through these 5-week programs until June. And we really, really want to affect 100 of these students' lives. So I really want to thank you for working closely with the high school and getting these kids the information they need to register and be here. Thank you so much to ReadyCT for being part of that. Betsy is doing her best to place these kids, and we're doing our best to educate them. So if do you have any final words, Betsy, for anything we can do different here and how we can better our programs with the funds we raise for Giving Tuesday?
Good afternoon. We are here at MakerspaceCT talking to Lauren, one of our teachers and industry experts today about the benefits of our CAD Readiness program. We have made a pledge to train Greater Hartford youth in CAD usage, CAD design, CAD awareness, before they go with ReadyCT to their internships at larger manufacturers throughout the state of Connecticut. And we really want to put all of this information into perspective, both for our families out there, for our youth out there, and for our future workforce. So wanted to ask you a few questions, Lauren. You're out there. If you wouldn't mind introducing yourself first.
Hey, my name's Lauren Brandenburg. I've been doing CAD for about 20 years now. It's my love, it's my passion, and it's my day job.
Okay, good. Happy to hear about your day job. He's joining us from his personal studio today. What I want to know, Lauren, when we look at this and our pledge to expose and train Greater Hartford students in the use of CAD, well, first of all, what the heck is CAD? Why do you use it? You're someone that chose this path for yourself, and you got training in CAD. I guess I want to start out with asking you, how did it change your perspective about the way things are made in the world and your place in it? I guess I want to start there from a personal perspective, because as we know, one exposure in high school or junior high or elementary school can change the trajectory of someone's life. So I guess I just want to delve in from a personal level so we can understand how it impacted your trajectory.
Yeah, so I never knew anything about CAD till my first day on the job at Pratt & Whitney. They hired me as an internship out of the community college, and there I fell in love with CAD design and drafting. It's the 3D tool, right, that allows you to communicate your thoughts and kind of your design inputs for manufacturing. So the way that changed my career was before I knew what it was, I was painting cars, and now I'm doing CAD design for additive manufacturing. It's been a really challenging yet fun career path to go on.
Interesting. So let me ask you a question. Back when you were going to community college, you weren't studying design, engineering, or CAD or anything like that, or?
I was studying computer sciences at first, and then I actually got recruited into the engineering department for some of my computing skills, which was really fun. And from there, I got linked up with Pratt & Whitney, and they set me up with their internship and their co-op program, and that kind of set my path for manufacturing.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll wait before I ask you the any regrets question yet. But look, can we talk for good? You're shaking. Excellent. Happy to see that. Can we just talk for a second about how those skills would impact someone's education? Once one student learns CAD or is exposed to it, what are the kind of applications? Where can they go from there?
Well, CAD, I think, is really the beginning, foundation or the building block of all design and manufacturing. It's from there that you can go into whether it's, FEA analysis and simulation or CAM designs for manufacturing, even quality and inspections, all link back into the CAD model, right? So it's really that driving force behind all of engineering and manufacturing at this point in time. And so I think it leads into multiple opportunities, really whatever anybody's interested in. If they have that building block and that foundation of CAD, they can stem out into so many different areas. It's really countless. I mean, you go to the dentist today, you see them using it in the background, right? They're 3D scanning your teeth and they're either making molds or they're doing something, or you go to anywhere, they're manufacturing it. Everybody is doing it via CAD design.
Yeah, I think it has reached so many applications, whether it's making braces for people or making eyeglasses or making prosthetics or skull implants or replacement parts. We see it so much in our lives, even whether it's repairing the knob on your toaster. I don't think people understand, there are things that I always talk about, and I try and impart to people that 3D printing isn't like when we watched the Jetsons and thought, oh my God, light years away. It's here. People are learning this. People are getting 3D printers in their home. And what I try and impart is just like we had, let me see. Oh yeah. And what I try and impart to people is when we switched from typewriters to computers, people were like, now I'll never have to learn software. I'm not going to do that. There's none of that that's for me. And,
right.
You can't even order coffee without having a computer these days, certainly in COVID times, or order a takeout meal. So it's the same thing with 3D.
Yeah,
people don't understand it, but there's going to be a day when you're home on a Saturday morning and your drapery rod breaks, and you decide, you look at it and say, stupid design, needed a better angle. I'm going to redesign it and print out two and rehang my curtain rods, and you're still in your pajamas. And I think it's important for people to understand that it's here now, not for everyone, but soon to be. So in ways that this impacts our lives, not just in manufacturing. It's so important in every aspect. Where do you see it going in manufacturing? Do you see there any manufacturing processes or entry points in the future that are going to start from something other than CAD?
No, not really. I mean, that's a great point. So you think about, like two workforce generations before mine. They did everything manually by hand. They were CAD design, like they were drawing out, they were drafting very skilled designs. The generation before me really started doing CAD and 3D work to make those simplistic drawings. And now it's kind of like we're taking those 3D models and driving everything, like I was saying before, the simulation, the quality, the manufacturing tool paths. And I'm really excited to see what's coming next, because we have fully model-based definition. I think that's huge for manufacturing. You're really, reducing the redundancy of having to fully define it in a 3D model and then fully define it on drafting sheets. You're kind of skipping that step.
Huge.
Some new things that I find really fascinating with CAD is the topology optimization, where you're actually having the computer pretty much come up with all your loads and stresses, and then that's how you make your design, right? So it's not like, right now we're kind of designing for our manufacturing because of milling and turning and the limitations they have. But with the new techniques of additive, you can really design just about anything and create just about anything. And the CAD design and the software that's getting out there, it's just simply amazing what you can create today.
So talk to me about, I'm beginning to think that there's nowhere that you cannot go without CAD, but explain to me the differences for a minute, because additive is growing more every day. Often we think of it as unique one-offs because we haven't really quite perfected all the technologies to do faster, massive quantities of additive. manufacturing. Can you explain for a moment the differences? If someone were to learn CAD, can they flex into current day computer aided design manufacturing in the CNC world? And will they understand additive, or do the worlds not meet?
No, they definitely do meet, Deborah. So, I mean, like, CAD is the basis of anything right now for manufacturing. So for CAM, for traditional, it's still definitely the basis. Like, you're referencing the faces of the models to come up with your types of cuts, right? Or you're setting certain offsets. With additive manufacturing, it is purely driven off of that 3D model. So I guess what the difference is like right now with traditional manufacturing, you can either program it directly off the CAD model, or you can look at the blueprints and kind of make your cuts to there. Whereas additive manufacturing, you solely rely on that 3D model as your input, and the computer software does the rest from there. So it's kind of an evolution of, of manufacturing.
So let's just talk about where people can go with these applications. I heard you say that in one world there were big prints and there were some discrepancies where you would make your changes to the paper and then you would actually have to make your model. Right. And now you can eliminate all of those steps and do it right online and print out your model. So obviously we're saving a lot of steps. It seems to me like there might be career paths in translating the antiquated paper to to digitizing it. It seems to me like there are career paths in creating additive. Can you just delineate a few different career paths that, let's just imagine really hard with our eyes closed really tight, that I was back in high school.
Yeah.
And what could I do if I'm thinking about this? Where could I go? What kind of career paths are there? And what kind of life can I expect from that knowledge?
Wow, that was a lot of questions.
Yeah, that was a big question. Especially the imagining me in high school part starting.
Yeah, I'm still stuck there. No, I mean, so learning CAD, because it's the foundation and it's that communication tool of your ideas, of your thoughts, of your designs, right? I mean, it can go anywhere from manufacturing, as we have a lot of here in Connecticut, right? Like, that's what I know it's used for the most. But then you look at any other industry. I mean, you can look at filmmaking with their animations and stuff. That's still all 3D design, right? You look at dentistry, like I was saying before, like, they're the biggest users of additive for production use cases right now. Obviously aerospace, which is huge, automotive industries, everything is doing it 3D CAD design. So type of opportunities out there, I mean, you have all different types, because with the CAD design, you can be designing, you can be a draftsman type, you can be that product definition person. You can also have that simulation type of, stresses and strains, where you're actually figuring out if things are going to break, and instead of having to break them in real life, you can break them on the computer, which is a lot cheaper, right?
Sounds like fun.
I like to make and break things, is what I tell people all the time. And then, you also have that quality or that inspection aspect, which is huge right now. I mean, all this is driven off of CAD, right? And so really it's, up to the person that, what they want to do and how they want to utilize that particular tool.
It really sounds like the sky's the limit, that you can take this wherever you want to go, or become an entrepreneur and create your own business with it as well.
Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, if you think, my current role as an additive design engineer didn't exist 3 years ago, right? Or I mean, like 5 years ago, like, it did not exist, and now it does, and it's a major function in these companies, and they're highly prized, right? So I think, like, as we're saying this, new types of jobs are being created, and they're all utilizing the CAD tool.
I guess, Lauren, our time is coming to a close, but I'd love to reserve some time when we can talk again and really delve into some of these careers, really explain to people. We're talking about the titles, and it's fascinating. Yes, I'd love to reserve another visit where we can pick a few of these and talk about what are the actual tasks in those fields,
Yeah.
and what kind of career paths from there, and what kind of salaries people can expect, because this is so important. We're trying to raise money to give students scholarships, so that they can learn this CAD. Once a student gets this information, is this springboarding their career ahead? Is it like leapfrog? If you learn it in high school, how far ahead are you from all of those other people that don't have those skills like you didn't, and entering into jobs that require design?
The sooner the better, right? The sooner you learn something, the sooner that you can apply it to something else. And I think that's really what has inspired my career. So like, at first I was just applying it to drafting tools and CAD designs, right? And then I applied it to manufacturing, and now it's to additive design. But everything is kind of looping together. It builds in, and like everything is just connected together. So I think the sooner that you're exposed to it, the more that you can use it, the more opportunities you're going to have, for sure.
So building a foundation as early as you can gets you expediency and gets you to be a real craftsperson in your CAD design.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, we appreciate it. We're trying to give as many students in Hartford a leg up as quickly as we can, because we perceive this as an industry that's growing by leaps and bounds every day. And we really want to help people along the path of financial sustainability, security, equity. We want to get everybody up there and earning, so they're spending money in Hartford and all our local retail businesses. So
you're doing a great job, Deborah. You really are. I hope you understand like how like just what a huge asset the Makerspace is to the community. We greatly appreciate it. I know all my friends and everybody else just thinks the world of it. So thank you so much.
Well, thank you. Thank you for supporting us. And again, thank you for helping us get the word out. Have a great day.
Bye.
Hey everyone, I have Ben Parker with us, and Ben is our Youth CAD instructor for our CAD Readiness program, and he comes from an interesting background of teaching and arts, and we're really thrilled to have him aboard. So I wanted Ben to give us a little perspective on how he brings his philosophy and his background of teaching into our program. And Ben, thanks for being here.
Yeah, Mark, thank you for having me.
And I was wondering if you could elaborate a little bit about your background and what you've done in the past and how that applies to what you teach here at MakerspaceCT.
Yeah, it's a bit of an eclectic background. I went to school for French and Italian language and literature, studied a bit of linguistics, and eventually got a degree from CCSU in French and pedagogical studies. So I actually got some training on how to teach more effectively. But outside of that, I'm a full-time artist. I'm an origami artist, just came out with a book on the subject a couple months ago. And that sort of puzzle of paper folding has been my primary focus.
It is pretty wild. I have seen your work, and I've read through some of your book. It's amazing. We are Ben is charged here with running our Youth CAD program. Can you tell us a little bit about your experiences in computer-aided design, Ben?
Yeah, I took a job a few years back, worked for a few months at Electric Boat, where we actually learned the same program that I'm teaching the students, NX, and worked on structural design. So we did modeling for pieces that would go in submarines, without going into too much detail for obvious reasons. But outside of that, I've done it just because I'm an enthusiast. I like to try to figure things out. I worked with Inkscape, which is a free open source program, and a program called OpenSCAD, which is a way to sort of modify the 2D into the 3D, also free and open source. But once you start getting into the real professional programs, you need backing of some kind to get the licenses. It's expensive.
And the software that Makerspace is using, which is NX, how does that relate to what's used in the professional world, the real world of CAD?
Well, that is a program that is used in the professional world, period. It is a very, very popular one. I think it was originally designed for car manufacturing, car designs. But like I said, it's used at Electric Boat and plenty of other places. I know that there's other programs that use a similar sort of interface to NX, so like Adobe or AutoCAD Inventor uses one that's kind of similar. So if you learn the skills from one, you can sort of apply it to a broad range of different programs.
So with a program as robust as NX is, and you have high school kids coming in here from freshman to senior year, how are they taking to the software? Isn't it complicated to just jump into something so robust and difficult as NX software is? How do you approach that with these guys that have never touched the software before?
You know, it's funny. When I did the first cohort a few weeks ago, we started Tinkercad and then sort of jumped up to NX to sort of give them a stepping stone. And I realized very quickly that was the wrong decision. So with the second cohort, I started them straight on NX. And the reason is because it's so complicated. I wanted to get their expectations up to the level of where it should be and get them right into it. And they can get a lot. I mean, if you tell the kids very honestly, this is a hard program, but we're going to muscle our way through it, they'll see what they're supposed to get. And I think it ends up being easier for them in the long run.
So you have them every Saturday. They're starting, some of them I'm sure are starting from scratch. When they walk out the door on the 5th Saturday, is there a big difference in the student?
Yeah, I would say so. Well, they've got all these connections that they've made. So if they go into it not really knowing much about 3D space, because you don't learn a lot about 3D space in, say, a high school math class. It's all about 2D coordinate systems and 2D functions and stuff like that. The third dimension, of course, adds a whole new layer that they have to wrap their heads around. And you can know it. You can understand what's going on without knowing it intuitively. So with those 5 Saturdays, they come out the other side with not only the knowledge, but the instinct to continue learning. That's more powerful than just cursory knowledge, if that makes sense.
Right. Understanding spatial proximity is sometimes it's a hard thing to teach, but I'm glad that you're sort of taking them on this journey, right, from beginning to understanding the spaces around them. And also it helps with their perspective on products, on how products are made. And it's a newly developed respect for that phone case or something they have at home on their desk. And they'll look at that differently, like, oh, I know how that's made, or I see how they design this now. That's so important, and that's hard to teach sometimes. It's interesting that they're coming out with spatial disciplines that they've never had before, and they only got there in 5 weeks, right?
Yeah, I mean, we do as much as we can in those 5 weeks, and then we try to go we try to encourage them to go beyond that and to get that hunger to keep going and learning more about it.
So, okay, so let's talk about that, right? You told me after our first cohort, the fourth and fifth week, you had some students asking questions. Could you tell everyone watching what they were asking?
Yeah, this was exciting, and I didn't expect this at all. We had 15 students, and 6 of them, independently of each other, came up to me and asked how they could be more involved in MakerspaceCT, how they could continue learning about different machines, different design techniques, things like that. So I sent Mark an email saying, there's this thing and there's this interest here. Can we do something with that? Can we actually give them internships? Can we try to extend the teaching?
So I know just from my own experiences, and you as well, Ben, that a newly developed skill, if you're not applying that skill right away or using that skill on a daily or weekly basis, sometimes you lose it.
Yeah.
We know that here in some of our safety certifications at Makerspace that, you took the class, you learned about a machine, but that's why we have QR codes on our machines so that someone can walk back up to the machine and be like, I kind of forgot how to run this machine. I know I took the class 4 months ago. Let me just watch this video real quick by scanning the QR code. So I want to tell our listeners that when Ben came to me with that, I hit the ground running. I grabbed the administrative team here, all of who are super creative, and we created this thing called CAD Plus. So what is CAD Plus? We just talked about it a little bit with Betsy from ReadyCT, but CAD Plus is a chance for these students to, those ones that raise their hand, right, Ben? Those ones that want to go to the next level, we want that here. So you can be sure that we want to cater something to them right away.
Yeah, definitely.
Right. And to put that into place, we have to roll with it immediately. So what is that? So the CAD Plus, and Ben can probably talk about this a little bit as well, but our hope is to add a few computer workstations, have students here in an after-school program or even on the weekends, give them their own workstation, and they will start modeling just the way they learned in Ben's class. They're going to start modeling some of our machinery and our entire facility from an architectural standpoint. And the hope is, and the plan is, to use those newly acquired skills right away, create this model so we can use that in our marketing efforts to help give virtual tours in our space. It will also help from a facility standpoint to know where every machine is, and when a new machine is being delivered or we're worried about, do we have enough space for that machine? We're going to have this amazing architectural computer model of our space, and as long as I know the dimensions, I can task one of these students with creating a model of that machine, pop it into the space, and see if it's going to fit.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't, what can we move around in this model to better fit a machine?
And actually, Mark, I'll add on to that.
Yep.
So yeah, everything you said, absolutely on the nose. On top of that, these students they're getting paid for it. They're just like they can go to any job and work at design, and get paid for it. They're seeing the process of, say, interviewing and trying to get their skills out there so that employers can see what they can do, and then making the case that they should be paid for those abilities.
Right. And you can be sure, Ben, I don't know if I talked to you about this just yet, but our plan is to actually put this out as a job posting with ReadyCT and have them apply formally and then sit them down and interview them and put them through that process, right?
I didn't know that. That's
yeah,
cool.
Yeah. So we can really formally run them through a job interview, give them that experience. We know that that need is out there. And with every interview, it gets easier and easier. And so that's the plan. We're a learning center, right? We're an innovative, creative place of teaching. Why not teach the real job skills, not just making, not just CAD design, but what's an interview all about and why is it important? So, I saw it from the first day to the last day, Ben, when they came to your class and what they were learning and how they were applying it. I could really tell that these kids were engaged and locked into their computer workstations and really working hard. And I thank you, I thank you dearly for stepping up to the task and getting these kids through this thing on every Saturday, because it shows. When those first 15 students were here on that last day, you could see a smile in their eye, and
that's a good feeling.
They're taking something new they learned, and they've really created something. And sometimes, we don't get it right the first time, right? We're the new kids on the block. And I want to thank Ben for adjusting the program based on what he's learned and what these kids need. So we're in our second cohort now, right, Ben?
Yep, coming up on the third week.
Right. So that is a cohort of 15 students. We've already had that's a cohort of 10 students, right? And we've already had 15 students through. We need, we need to fund the next round of students here. And we need to take those 75 students, that balance of 75 students. Whether you know it or not, Ben, we want to make you work all the way through June. Every Saturday with these kids. And,
I'll take it. Yeah, absolutely.
It's good to see these kids taking part in something that will really take their knowledge to the next level. I know you feel really strongly about the Maker ecosystem. And can you talk a little bit about how you feel about making and why making is important and what we do here at MakerspaceCT?
Yeah, so I love the maker movement. I've been involved with it for about 7 years now. Came over from another makerspace that went under called Make Hartford, and then MakerspaceCT sort of welcomed me with open arms, put my skills to good work. But ever since I was a child, I wanted to learn more, and it frustrated me not having access to the resources, the tools that I needed to teach myself what I wanted to learn. And that's, anything from a sport that just didn't have the equipment to some manufacturing process that I just didn't have access to the tools for. And that's carried on into my adulthood. I call it a technological gentrification. So as far as the whole progress of society goes, the more everyone at all stages of wealth have access to, the better our society in general will be. So it all comes down to access. And the more funding there is for machines and teaching, the more donations there are for those kind of things, the better our society will be, the stronger the individual will be.
I think you said it best in a previous conversation, that why shouldn't you have access? Why shouldn't we have access as a society to what's out there? The hands-on programs and the project-based learning that we're diving into here, it's amazing and it's affordable.
Yeah.
And we make it affordable, but only with our donations. And so Ben, thanks for being with us. Our goal here is to keep you busy, and make sure that you continue creating amazing programs that we can put into place. But the only way we can do that, and the only way we can fund this next level of knowledge is by having our donors give. And our goal is for every $500 you give to MakerspaceCT for Giving Tuesday, you will be able to run a student from the Hartford-Area through a 5-week CAD program. And understand that this is, and I think I said this in my interview with Betsy, and Ben knows this is some training you're going to get freshman, sophomore year, college level engineering classes. So imagine what you're giving to these students here in this area and the opportunity that will springboard them into, their next level of engineering, a career of engineering. This opens the door to several pathways, and we need your help, and we need it right away. Ben's in his 3rd week with the 2nd cohort. We want to go into the 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th week, going all the way to June. It's really important. So please give. Any amount will help us. But the $500 is our baseline to get a student through that program. So thanks again, Ben. Thanks for being with us. Thanks for seeing this movement forward. And come by and see us sometime at MakerspaceCT and see the amazing things we're doing, both for youth and for our adults. So thanks again, Ben. We'll see you next Saturday.
Mark, thanks for having me. Take care, man.
Bye. Hey everyone, I just want to introduce you to Lenasia. Lenasia was one of our students through the CAD Readiness program. She came through the 1st cohort. Her and 14 others made it through 5 hard Saturdays of really cool work. And she had the opportunity to be instructed by Ben on NX CAD. And we're really happy to have her with us today. Hello, Lenasia, how you doing?
Hello, I'm doing good.
So she just got out of school for the day, and she's decided to jump on and answer a few questions about the program that she just graduated out of here. And so let's get started for a second. When you first were told about the program, what did you know about it, and what made you want to join it?
In my school, we actually take we take innovation and invention. So we use Onshape actually. So it's like the same thing that we did, it's just another website that you could use. So it was kind of easy, and it's something that I already know what to do. So it was beneficial for me that I could put it on college thing, like in
Right. So you had something to put on your resume.
Yeah.
Not only for a possible internship, but something you could use going forward on College Board, where they can see some of the experiences you had, right, at MakerspaceCT. Can you tell us a little bit about the part you designed or worked on? And I know just in a second here, we might see an image of it come up on the screen. Can you tell us about what this thing is that I'm looking at?
Is it the Mickey Mouse?
Yeah, it's like a Mickey Mouse looking part.
Right. So I made a Mickey Mouse. I was gonna make it Minnie Mouse, and then I decided to just make a Mickey Mouse. So you could use it for two things actually. It's a Christmas ornament, or you could use it as a keychain. I didn't really size it well, but it's good. Like I like it. I did my first letter of my name on it, and
It looks also, I'm sorry, it looks also like you blended some shapes together, like you took some cylinders and unified them. Is that the right term?
not unify, but yeah, I kind of put together, and then I cut it a little bit so it could go on, like it could stick together. Like, I don't know if that's the word, but I used the trim tool and I put it on there too. So then I extruded it so I could put my L.
Got it.
Yeah.
So, this is an opportunity you had to learn NX, and you said you had a little bit of experience before. Do you think this is a good program for, other students that you're friends with? Would you recommend it?
I would
Tell them
definitely.
about it?
Yeah,
You would?
definitely.
Did it help you go from some of your baseline skills, and did it help you take that next leap into something a little more complicated?
Yeah, using the NX website, it was kind of more difficult because some of the tools was a first thing that I used, but it was really like once I first started getting a hang of it, it was kind of easy to deal with.
Got it. Do you wish the program was longer than 5 weeks? Do you think that there's a lot more to learn and you're willing to jump in? If I were to extend that program, I don't know, another 4 or 5 weeks, would you stick with it?
Definitely.
Right. We are hoping to not only give the same opportunity that you got in this class, the first 25 students that we're working with now, we're hoping to extend that to another 75 students until June. So the goal here, Lanisha, is to raise some funds to get more students like yourself into this program and really get your hands-on learning up to speed. Get in here to our computer lab, learn a whole lot more. We really want to take this program further. What year are you at school right now?
I'm a junior.
You're a junior. Okay. And if we offered this this spring and it was a different type of program, would you jump in?
Yes.
If we offered it in your senior year and it was a more advanced program, would you jump in?
Yes.
So thank you. I mean, the goal here is to really find students like you that want the first step into some engineering classes. And, it sounds like you are coming from some experience. And what's great about Mr. Parker, your instructor, is he really adjusted the class to cater to everyone's needs. Some of you came in with no experience at all, and he took them on that pathway. And someone else like you came in with a little bit more experience, and he helped you along to a different level, right? Thank you so much. Good luck. Good luck going into the holiday season. I'm sure you probably have some finals coming up.
Yes.
I bet. And I know it's difficult these days during COVID and online learning and these hybrid models that the schools have. I get it. We're really lucky to have the Safe Shop here, and you guys come in safely and learn hands-on with our software and our computers.
Yeah.
So thanks for taking part of it. Thanks for being with us today and answering a few questions. And
thanks for having me.
Yeah, hopefully we'll see you back. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. See you around. Happy holidays.
Thank you. You too.
Bye.
Bye.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ben Parker. I'm here with Augusto, who is part of the CAD program, the CAD Readiness program that I taught. I was the instructor, and Augusto was one of the fastest learning students in the class. So I thought it would be a good idea to bring him in, ask him some questions of what he thought about the class. And Augusto, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Mr. Parker. As I say, my name is Augusto. I was one of the students on the CAD program, and those 6 weeks was like a really new experience for me. I really enjoy being part of the program.
Cool. All right, so you knocked off my first question, which was, did you have fun? Sounded like you did.
Yes, it was like it was a mix of fun and new experience, new learnings.
Awesome. Would you want to do that for a career? Would you want to actually design things for a company?
I didn't have like the idea first, but after this program, I might be something that I'm interested to do like after high school, like this computer design or um, design in general.
Awesome. That's great. So do you feel like you were able to see sort of the process from start to finish? Obviously there's not a lot of physical manufacturing going on, but do you sort of have a better idea of how a product might be designed and made and then sold?
Yes, I had the opportunity like to see how things are made, and I had like one project was on my computer that was like a turbine engine, and I was thinking when I opened, I was like, oh, so that's how it was made. Like you could see the things and like all the components inside of it. It was like really nice. It was a really cool project.
That's awesome. That's great. Actually, we have one of your projects that you worked on. Could you tell us a bit about this? It should be coming up in just a sec. There we go.
Sure. That is a headset holder. So I designed like think about my headset, how it's like designed, and you can see that there's a little gap on the top. That is where my head support will be, and there are two holes in the back where you can put the cable through, the charging cable, and it's like just quick, easy to start my headset whenever I need to use it. Just like take it and put back on my head.
Cool. And how intentional are those dimensions? Like, did you do any kind of measuring to say get the base or the hole for the cord, that sort of thing?
Yes, I use a tool to find the diameter of the cord, and the head. The head's kind of a little bit bigger, so I had to make the holes one side bigger than the other one so the head could stick in and not come out. And the top part where the headset was just stand on top, I had to make like the little smooth here instead of like just a square. I smooth it because I have like cushions on my headset, and I was thinking that if I left it square, it may get messed up or like misshaped after a while.
Takes a lot of planning, but that's good. That's really good to hear. What about your personal projects? Would you use a program like this to just make things for yourself around the house, family?
Yeah, actually, my girlfriend, she was planning to build a shed, and I started using one of those programs just to kind of have like idea how to do the walls and like the size and like the roof, and yeah.
Awesome. Would you recommend this program for other students?
Excuse me?
Would you recommend this program for other students?
I definitely recommend that. As I say, it's a new experience, and like it's really fun. The program, like every week, I couldn't wait to get Saturday and like just to go to the program and learn more and have an idea how the stuff are make and how basically everything is designed.
Awesome. And probably the one of the most important questions I have for you: how weird is it seeing me without a mask for the first time? We wore masks all the time.
Yeah, during the program, like everyone was using mask and we couldn't see like each other's face, but it's really different. I didn't have idea how it was, and now we can see each other.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's good. It's good to see you without a mask and actually see smiles. Yeah, it's quite a bit different. But I think the students were all able to connect with each other and get those relationships formed to teach each other and learn together. So
Yes.
awesome. Well, thank you very much for joining us, Augusto, and we'll keep in touch. There's further learning left to be done always. So we'll talk about that.
Okay, thank you.
Hey, take care, man.
You too. Bye bye.
Hi, Brahalia. Thank you so much for joining us today to talk about your experience at MakerspaceCT and taking the CAD Readiness class.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Sure. You just finished our first class here, and we appreciate that you joined us for that class. Just out of curiosity, what did you learn in this CAD Readiness class?
Well, one of the biggest things I learned is problem solving, I would say, because figuring out how the design is going to work and measurements and all of that. It was easy trying to come up with the design, but actually putting it together and making sure it makes sense, that was the hardest part. So I think that's what I learned.
I envy you. I don't know CAD, but I'm really good at problem solving, but that translation of taking what you see in your mind and putting it down, I guess, was at one point onto paper and now onto the computer is the first step of communicating and manufacturing. And I envy you that you have those skills already. You're a senior. And are you enjoying these skills? Is this kind of the area that you want to go into, this sort of pre-manufacturing design or computer-aided design, or is it just a hobby?
Well, initially I joined the program because in college I want to be a civil engineering major. So CAD is going to be, important. So I wanted to.
Very important. Yeah. So I guess there's no problem for you to understand how this gives you a leg up, grabbing this in high school before you graduate. Yeah. This is, obviously the longer time that you have to practice the skill, the more proficient you become at it. And it just seems to me like you're getting a skill in this now. Leapfrogs you above all the other kids that haven't really done that yet. I know that you've been doing some design. Can you talk to us a little bit about, you made a specific design in CAD, and here it is. Can you give us a little walkthrough about what it is, what you were doing, what you problem solved, and what you designed?
Okay, so we had the opportunity to design something that we wanted to print out. I wanted to make a stand for my computer, because since I'm in online school, I think it would be great to have.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd make it a lot easier. So I wanted something really simple that the design can be really recreated easily. So it's pretty simple. Lines aren't confusing or anything.
It looks fabulous. I mean, it looks like it's simple. It looks like it's light. It looks like it's small. It looks like you accomplished a lot here, a very simplistic design. Have you printed it out yet?
I printed a really small one because the 3D printer wasn't big enough to do the actual size I wanted it, but I have
Sure.
a small figure of it.
Very cool. So I guess I'll just ask you, it's very exciting to me because you're heading into an internship this summer at one of the manufacturing facilities through your ReadyCT affiliation. This must be pretty exciting to know that you're going to be able to go into that and really turn heads, already understanding CAD and being able to work on projects that probably other interns haven't been able to solve.
Yeah.
So I guess I'll just ask you one other question. Would you recommend this program to your other friends?
Definitely. I already told some of my friends about it, and I speak about it a lot. I really enjoyed it because even though we're given instruction, a lot of it was kind of like go off and explore and try to figure this out on your own. So I really like that.
I'm very grateful that you gave it a try. When we do things here, we always hope we're helping people or opening doors or giving them an idea or a seedling, something that's going to make their path easier, better, faster. And I'm thrilled to see what you designed already and that you're going to use it and that you're heading into a career in civil engineering that's really going to be a diet of CAD probably every day.
Yeah.
So I'm very grateful to you. Thank you, Prihala, for taking this class. I want to thank everybody out there. We are trying to raise $5,000 in scholarships. We give all these classes to these high school students for free. And we are trying to raise $5,000 so we can offer this program to several more students so we can give them a solid foundation like Prihala has to move forward in explore new careers or get a leg up on the career they're headed for. And if not for all the people that are sponsoring and donating, we wouldn't have this class and we wouldn't have been able to give it to you. And thank you for being here. Thank you for taking advantage of the programs that are here at MakerspaceCT and in front of you. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.